For some of us, integrity is everything. I don't just create books, I do an awful lot of videos. And the one thing to take from that is I don't make any money from my videos. I post to TikTok and I post to YouTube. YouTube, I'm not part of the advertising scheme. I haven't hit a threshold for that. TikTok, I removed myself a year or so ago from the Creator Fund because I thought it was pointless. And it was too restrictive of the content you could create. So I say I don't make any money, and if everything I did was focused solely on um, the fool's gold, then of course I would refuse to create anything that can't possibly generate money. So I have my books, which they mean a lot to me. Effectively, my books are structured. So if someone was to pick up a book and they want to go on a healing journey, personal growth, transformation, all those things, the books will help immeasurably. They're fine tuned, they're articulated better, so that everything I do on the videos are off the cusp, and I feel like I can reach wide audiences with that. And the whole point really is, yeah, of course, I want to do well for myself. I want a better lifestyle. I want to uplift myself. So it'd be nice to have nice things. It'd be nice to be rewarded for that. And of course, that's my books can reward me, or by extension, the audio books too. But for me personally, everything I do is it's just far bigger than that. If it was all about that, then like I said, I would refuse to do the videos, or I'd find some way to sort of like, I think there's a Patreon or something you can do where you can literally just put your videos and make it where people have to pay to watch them. There is ways to do that. But like I said, I feel like my legacy is bigger than that. And that's what it comes down to. I'd rather build a legacy than a bank balance. If I can have a bank balance too that's really healthy and wealthy potentially, then great. Then great. But effectively, you got to think life isn't unlimited. We only have so much time here having this human experience. So for some of us, a lot of what we do will potentially impact the next generation, maybe even future generations after that. Now, for the most part, that's not likely because lifestyles change, society evolves, and sometimes the things we talk about in one era doesn't necessarily correspond with the next era, as we found through previous generations. So teachings don't always continue on into other areas of life, especially after we've gone, but sometimes it can. And for me personally, the impact that I have, or the potential impact I can have, far outweighs money. So I recognize that some people, perhaps, they don't like reading. Some people, maybe they're incapable of reading. Maybe they can't afford to read. All these different things. And it's like, I wouldn't want to isolate those people and not be able to share my voice or help them. So I think there's a benefit to everything I do. I think the videos create substance. They're long enough that you can take an awful lot from each of them. And I try to organize them the best I can. But if you're looking for something structured and to the point, like for instance, if you read a book typically, any book really, just it doesn't take as long as you think to get through it. It can seem heavy in periods with books, of course, because they can be intense, but you only have to read chapters at a time. And a lot of books are really between maybe 4 hours. A full book could be between 4 hours and maybe 10 hours of reading. So actually, it's not that long. So the way I see it is, of course, if someone wants to really go on a deep dive into life, it's like my books are great for that because it's coherent. Each book there's a meaning to the book. You open it up, and now you can come on that journey with me. Like I said, the words are fine tuned. It's articulated. I'd say better because it can be curated. I can edit and I can sculpture and say exactly how I want to say it. But the videos, they're still helpful to people, and I think they're still useful, and they're very deep, and there's an awful lot of them. So I say, if people are trying to circumvent that, then of course you can just enjoy. If you like video content, it's there. Now, I like what I do, and I feel one day people will appreciate it, especially when they're looking to heal. Like, who do you trust to help you heal, and how can you evolve and improve your life? And that's where I think I come in. Hello. So my cover designs for my videos, for the most part on YouTube, I don't know if I can get it up at the moment. They're very, they're very similar to each other, and it's done purposely because personally I can't be bothered to put that much effort into changing them. But also I like the fact that if someone was to see the cover, if they're interested in my content, it would stand out like a sore thumb. Oh, it's another one of their videos. Oh, it's another one. You know, it's not like me being dramatic. It's another topic to be he's talking about. Oh, I might watch this. Um, because there is an audience for it. Like, for instance, when I stay up quite late at night lately, and that's usually when I'm on YouTube. I don't watch deep stuff because that's not where I'm at. I'm already deep in myself, so I'll tend to watch things like football, soccer. There'll be things like talking or debate former football players. I'll watch that. There'll be gaming channels. They're just different areas of my life that I have interest in, and I'll sit and watch them. And there's certain channels that you're like, oh, I really want to. They're one of my favorite ones. If they've got a new video, it's great. I can sit and watch that for an hour now. So if I like sitting down watching content for an hour or so, there'll be other people that also like to watch content for periods of time. And if they're looking to go on a deep dive into life's journey, the healing process, and things like that, and various topics on that, then I know my content will be useful to them. So there is a target audience, and like I say, when they see the videos, I'm gonna have to zoom in a little bit here on my channel. You see the videos; the covers are very similar, just got different topics. And if that comes up on your feed, at least you know when you see that cover, oh, it's him. He's talking about that. You see a video on this one, it's a bit more personal. You see this one here, it's a spiritual journey, you know, but at least you know by the cover, the context of what I'm talking about. Um, so like I say, I like what I do. And I think sometimes people should think about that in their own life, like why you do what you do. Um, and how much, how much do you have to sell? You know what I mean? Like, my life's hard financially. It's harder than most people to understand. But even in that circumstance, I would refuse to lock anything I do behind a paywall. Like I said, there's an elevation of the content. I think my books are. Um, I consider my books my biggest accomplishment. Like they're I think anyone reading that is going to go on a journey. And I think it's really going to be healing to people. And I'll talk about other things and sometimes overlap the content, but I think you'll find it in its best form in the book. So yeah, but if people obviously don't want to invest, they don't want to pay, there's free content out there, and that's what I'm saying. I'd much rather leave a legacy um, than a bank balance. But it'd be nice to obviously have both, but I refuse to limit myself to paid content. So I just thought about that really. I just thought I'd talk about it. Hopefully, it'll inspire other people to, reach out and share their journeys and not live life based on how much money you can acquire, because I think there's just far more important things in life than that. And effectively, most people, 99% or 99.9% will be forgotten after they've had this lifetime. And in every lifetime, it's very rare when you think about it that people get immortalized or get remembered. I'm not saying I'd be immortalized or remembered, but unless you do things differently, um, and you have a focus on a reason why you do something, it's unlikely you'll be remembered. And I think that's so interesting. Life isn't, of course, about being remembered, but if you can leave a lasting legacy and help the next generation, I think that's something worth doing. And I don't think comparing that to being wealthy, I think that's far more precious.